Dollinger wrote, "Out of the ruins of the Roman Empire there gradually arose a new order of states whose central point was the papal see. Therefore inevitably resulted a position not only new, but very different from the former." The Church and Churches, pages 42 and 43. Yes, the finger points unerringly toward the Roman Church as the little horn power of Daniel 7. But, you say, what about the other characteristics given in the prophecy? Do they point to the papal power? Daniel said this of this power, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High." Daniel 7:25. Words of blasphemy and self-exaltation is what Daniel is referring to here. When Jesus was on earth, he was accused of blasphemy for claiming to be equal to God and for claiming to have power to forgive sin. We note from their own works that the Roman Church makes the same claims. They claim to forgive sins and also to be equal with Christ. Daniel wrote, "The same horn was making war against the saints and prevailing against them." Daniel 7:21. Verse 25 says, "It would persecute the saints of the Most High." Has the Roman Church persecuted? Let's read the Church's own writings. The Church has persecuted. Only a tyro or novice in the Church history will deny that. We have always defended the persecution of the Huguenots and the Spanish Inquisition. When she thinks it good to use physical force, she will use it. The Western Watchman, December 24, 1909. Protestants still shudder as they recall St. Bartholomew's Day, August 22, 1572. It was on that day that the bells of Paris rang out, calling the Catholics to destroy in one major stroke the Huguenots. The Inquisition, the Crusades against the Huguenots, Waldenses, Albigenses, the 30 Years' War, the rack, the dungeon, the flames from the martyrs burned at the stake, are all historically linked to the Roman Church during the dark centuries of its supremacy. Why the wholesale slaughter? The answer is one of conscience. The martyrs were unwilling to compromise their belief in God and His Word. They refused to follow the man-made teachings of the Roman Church. Thus they were branded as heretics. In the March 20, 2000 issue of Time magazine, page 23, is a short article speaking about Pope John Paul's apology for the above-listed horrors committed by the Roman Church. It reads, "Act of Contrition. In the Jubilee year and the season of Lent, Pope John Paul II confronts the Crusades, the Inquisition, the Holocaust, and other horrors in seeking to express regret for sins committed by Catholics in the past 2,000 years. And friend, however shocking these revelations and statistics may be, please keep in mind that God intended this prophecy to be a kind and loving warning against this great apostate system, not against individuals of that system. We must never forget for a moment that there are loving and sincere Christians in every communion. But there's another very important distinguishing characteristic of this little horn power. The prophecy predicted that it would think to change times and law. Daniel 7:25. Does the papal power claim to have the ability to change God's times and laws? Sad to say, it does. The Pope has power to change times, to abrogate laws, and to dispense with all things, even the precepts of Christ. Discretal de translate episcop cap. Incredible as it may seem, the papal power attempted to change God's divine law. She did that very thing and freely admits it. In its catechisms, the papacy has deleted the second commandment, which forbids the worship of images, and has divided the 10th commandment, so there will still be 10. However, they made the 4th commandment, which has to do with God's Sabbath day, the 3rd, and has left out all reference to the 7th day as being the Sabbath. The Church, after changing the day of rest from the Jewish Sabbath of the 7th day of the week to the 1st, made the 3rd commandment refer to Sunday as the day to be kept as the Lord's Day. The Catholic Encyclopedia, Volume 4, page 153. Perhaps the boldest thing, the most revolutionary change the Church ever did happened in the 1st century. The holy day, the Sabbath, was changed from Saturday to Sunday, not from any directions noted in the Scriptures, but from the Church's sense of its own power. People who think that the Scriptures should be the sole authority should logically become Seventh-day Adventists and keep Saturday holy. St. Catherine's Catholic Church Sentinel, May 21st, 1995. Catholic Cardinal James Gibbons once wrote, "You may read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, but you will not find a single line authorizing the sanctification of Sunday." The Faith of Our Fathers, pages 111 and 112. We read from the Convert's Catechism. Question: which is the Sabbath day? Answer: Saturday is the Sabbath day. Question: why do we observe Sunday instead of Sabbath? Answer: because the Catholic Church transferred the solemnity from Saturday to Sunday. There is no record in the Bible commanding such a change. None of the New Testament writers told of such a change. It would have been the lead article in every New Testament book had such a momentous change occurred. God said, "I will not break, nor alter the word that has gone out of my mouth." Psalm 89:34. God has not changed his law, and no one else has the right to alter God's law. The last characteristic we will study is perhaps the capstone, proof positive, or the thumbprint of this little horn power and its identity. Daniel actually pinpoints when this Antichrist power would be supreme, and the length of time it would persecute the saints of God. "And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time." Daniel 7:25. Here we find more Bible symbols. The term time comes from the Aramaic word idan, meaning a year, or 360 prophetic days. Times would be dual, or signifying 2 years, or 720 prophetic days. And a dividing of time would signify a half year, or 180 prophetic days. When we add a time, 360 days, times 720 days, and the dividing of time, 180 days, we arrive at a total of 1,260 prophetic days. According to the prophet Ezekiel, a prophetic day signifies a year. Ezekiel says, "I have appointed thee each day for a year." Ezekiel 4:6. History confirms the accuracy of this time period. The Ostrogoths, the last of the Aryan kingdoms to oppose the Roman Church, were overthrown in the year 538 A.D., leaving the papacy free to develop her political and ecclesiastical power. Exactly 1,260 years later, in 1798, the Roman Church's political power was broken by Napoleon's general Berthier, who took the Pope prisoner. Now let's leap ahead to the climax of Daniel's great prophecy, for it was a very happy ending for the people of God. Even though Daniel saw the various things that the little horn power would do, wearing out the saints of God and trying to change God's law, he said that this power would eventually come to an end. "The judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom." Daniel 7:26 and 27. What a glorious event, as God's eternal kingdom is ushered in. The details of that kingdom are recorded earlier in the same book of Daniel, as Daniel was given a vision of the second coming of Christ. "I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days. And they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory, and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not be destroyed." Daniel 7:13 and 14. What a contrast to the kingdoms earth has known. No armies, no police, no prisons, no poverty, no sickness or death, just peace and love, and beauty from pole to pole. Jesus says, "Come, you blessed of my Father, Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Matthew 25:34. Jesus wants to share his kingdom with everyone, but he will not force us to choose him as our Lord. The decision is ours to make. Don't hesitate, friend. Time is running out for planet Earth. Soon Jesus will come to take us to those mansions he has prepared in his kingdom. Won't you just lift your heart to him right now and invite him to reign supreme in your heart? There will only be two classes of people on that day: those who choose to follow Christ and his word, and those who choose to follow the arch-deceiver, the Antichrist. Won't you just now take hold of that nail-scarred hand and tell Jesus you want him as your Lord and King?